In 2024 alone, our clients have closed over 437 new deals for their agency. And in this video, I'm going to break down the top 5 methods that we're using right now to attract high quality premium agency clients. Now, the problem with most lead generation strategies that are out there right now is it only focuses on one channel. And I'm here to tell you that the game has fundamentally changed, where you can no longer just launch a single ad campaign and have it print appointments on demand. So what I'm going to give you is a full funnel approach in this video to agency client acquisition. We're going to use what we call system stacking to add clients predictably and profitably each and every month. Now, after this video, there's no reason that you wouldn't be able to add 3 to 5 high ticket agency clients with what I'm about to show you. So enough wasting time. Without further ado, let's dive into the strategies. Cool. So let's dive into the same client acquisition systems that closed 437 clients in 2024, did a combined 17 million in new client revenue. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Nicholas Kirchner. I'm a 3-time agency founder at the multi-million-dollar level, and I've worked with hundreds of clients from local businesses all the way to the biggest companies on earth, Fortune 100 clients. And in that time, I've learned a thing or 5 about acquiring clients as an agency owner. And this is the number one issue we see across our consulting clients at Hydra. They want growth, but you're not growing. And it typically comes down to not having the right strategies or not doing enough volume of the right strategies. Now, there's one agency principle that's fundamentally true, whether you're at 20K a month or 500K a month, and it's that you always need leads, right? So no matter where you're at in your agency journey, you need more clients to continue to grow. So let's solve that problem. So if you want to get clients in 2025, you have to adapt here, or your agency is probably going to continue struggling because lead generation has fundamentally changed. And you need to be not only implementing the right systems, but iterating on those systems and continuing to make them better. So quick other stat here, we booked 7,236 sales calls across our portfolio of consulting clients, right? So of that, we got 437 deals. So I want you to use this as your roadmap to cut through the noise, attract high value clients, and scale your agency to the next level. So the first method that we're going to be getting into is organic social content. First thing we need to do is frame out our avatar. Who are we actually writing for? And a universal copywriting principle that I'm going to recommend here is that the best content always speaks to one person, not a single group. Next, where are they? Do they consume content here on YouTube? Do they hang out on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook or Instagram? Know where they're actually consuming content. Next, what are they wanting to know? What keeps them up at night? What content would actually be valuable for them to read that actually solves their problems until you speak to the pain? So, for example, I'm writing this post and recording this video to agency owners who want to get high value clients and getting this to you based on where I know that you hang out. So long story short, what's the key to acquiring clients with organic content? We want to choose 1 to 2 platforms that we know our audience hangs out and can be consistent on. And by consistent, I mean a minimum of 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the channel. Here on YouTube, might be once a week. On LinkedIn, I'm thinking 5-6 times a week is the pace that I've been running at for the last 2 years, and it's worked fantastically well. Same thing with Instagram Shorts, YouTube Shorts. So what we're going to want to do with our content is demonstrate our expertise and build thought leadership and credibility. Another thing that is preventing you from getting clients is you haven't built enough trust in the market. You're basically saying, hey, here's my offer. Either click and book a call or I'll see you never. And the reality is the sales cycle needs to be more fully developed. What I mean by that is we need case studies. We need valuable pieces of content. We need testimonials. We need social proof that people are actually getting results with the information and the implementation that we are doing. So quick tip on those testimonials and case studies, etc., that we're going to post is don't just say, hey, we helped a client 3x revenue. Break down exactly how you did it because it makes it real. Okay. It actually says, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm not just taking a screenshot of a Shopify dashboard that anyone could do and not explaining any logic behind it. So one of the hardest things to do, though, is creating content that stays relevant and is timeless. It can be consistently produced without disrupting your schedule, and it actually gets read and attracts you clients. So I'm going to go through the 5 evergreen content pillars that allow you to create this type of content like clockwork, right? So the first content pillar that I really like is lessons and learnings. So what are you seeing across your clients' ad accounts, emails, creative, websites, lead gen processes right now? Then we parlay that into what strategies have you tested and what were your results? What trends might we be seeing across the industry that we serve? And what do we believe is coming in the future? Now, we want to talk about this because this proves our thought leadership and actually shows, hey, we kind of know what we're talking about, and you're going to want to follow my direction because I'm on the cutting edge of strategy as far as this solution goes in this market. Now, I folded in an AI helper to help you extract these content ideas and actually get them on paper. So what I would recommend doing for lessons and learnings is crowdsource your internal strategy and reporting meetings, transcribe those, and upload them to Claude or GPT or the model of your choice, and deliver learnings from what you and your team is seeing. Because it's going to pull out, hey, for this client, we think we're going to test this month. We tested this last month. Here was the results. Have it interpret that and just give you the lessons and learnings. Number 2, client conversations. So think about when you take a client through a sales call or onboarding or a reporting call. Think about what kind of questions you get asked, right? Probably how long should I expect to wait before seeing results on this channel? What should we be testing next? What should our budget distribution look like? What should our sending cadence look like? How often should we be split testing new things? Infinite possibilities based on the different type of agency that you might have. So AI helper on this one would be find your external strategy or reporting meetings, get those transcribed, upload them to Claude or GPT, and deliver learnings from what your clients are asking and how you are responding. Thirdly, hot takes. Arguably my favorite because these provide a huge boost in engagement and reach and i.e. clients. So what do you disagree with the market on, right? Part of being positioned is having an opinion and an understanding of what you don't do or what you don't like that other people are doing, and that gives you your hot takes. So what do you disagree with your market on, right? Maybe the market believes that this is the right strategy, but it's actually this over here. Whatever that is for you, I want you to write that down. And we can also use the AI helper for this. So collect posts on LinkedIn that you find controversial or disagree with, upload them to Claude or GPT, and prompt it to respond to this take with hooks for content that will allow you to provide a counter argument that's punchy and will capture attention. It's pretty easy if you follow people within your niche that are your competitors to be able to look at what they are posting and be able to provide a counterpoint or something that you disagree with that you can frame as a piece of thought leadership content. Number 4, build in public. How'd you get to where you are today? Don't just show up and say, hey, I'm an agency owner. I've been successful all this time. Tell the origin story. Okay, why are you building what you're building? What did you have to overcome to get here? People like to follow that journey. And most people with their content, they're not personal enough. And it's a personal brand for a reason to help us get content. So make sure you're sharing your story. It only makes your messaging that much more powerful. Now, obviously, we're going to celebrate if we won a new client recently, we hired someone new recently. And next, what are you paying attention to right now? No matter what service you offer, AI is going to disrupt everything, right? It's all anyone's talking about. So how can you build in public through that lens and show how you're implementing AI for CRO, for email, for ads, right? Once again, thought leadership. Clients are going to say, oh, that guy's ahead of the curve or that girl's ahead of the curve. Call to action wise, always include a CTA, but make it feel natural. So if you're ready to replicate these results, DM me something and let's chat. This works with any of these content pillars on this video here. So always close out your posts with some sort of a CTA to either get engagement or get them to actually visit your site. So what are your organic content action steps? Number 1, identify your top performing topics that solve the client's number 1 pain point. Remember, we want to be speaking to pain. Number 2, batch produce content. I typically do 1 day a week, and you can make your videos or your written or your newsletter all at the same time. For me, this is Wednesdays, and I spend all day creating content. And number 3, publish consistently. That is the main thing. This is not going to work if you're only shipping 1 to 2 posts per week. The volume has to be there. Measure the engagement and double down on what gets traction, or recycle those posts and make sure that they see the light of day again with a new hook or a new CTA, because that's how we are going to get more lifespan out of each piece of content. And the reality is most people aren't going to remember that content anyway. So don't sweat posting the same thing multiple times if it's a couple weeks apart. No one remembered. All right, so method number 2, LinkedIn ADMT outreach. Now, LinkedIn is tried and true for outreach, but too many people have started using automation tools, and they treat LinkedIn like a set and forget tool that leaves them unsatisfied. And I've heard it millions of times, LinkedIn doesn't work for me. Well, before you check out and say, oh, I'm already doing LinkedIn outreach and I don't need this LinkedIn training, I want to show you how we're booking 30 to 40 calls per month from LinkedIn ADMT outreach. Now, the truth is 99% of people do LinkedIn wrong and they try and automate everything. But as you can see, this is our Hyros dashboard here. It's worth investing time and energy into. As you can see, these are all book calls from my LinkedIn profile. Now, you're probably thinking, what the heck is ADMT? Well, ADM stands for Active Decision Maker Targeting. And we use ADMT targeting to ensure that our messages are being seen and read, which is why this method is superior to things like cold email, where we don't know if those email addresses are active, and it's very hard to stand out in the inbox. Not to mention, this is your competition on LinkedIn. Now, nothing against any of the people in this screenshot, but you can see that, hi, Nicholas, I admire the path you've walked in consulting and thought it made perfect sense to reach out. In good spirit, Kaleem. Now, unfortunately, this message does more harm than good, because I immediately am not going to respond to this. I don't have time to respond to this as a busy founder, and your prospects are not going to respond to it either if this is your strategy. So I find this approach quite lazy, and I know for a fact they're seeing subpar results because of it. So how do you go from getting no responses, no book calls, to having your prospects put their problems on a silver platter for you to solve? Well, you can see some examples here that people really appreciate the type of message that I'm sending here. I love random messages and requests. Good hook. Then they explain their problem to me, right? And then multiple other people saying, my problem is client acquisition, right? My problem is getting ready to launch ads and scale the platform we've created. Sales, right? Sales, systems and processes. So you can see all of these people are giving me an open door to present what we offer at Hydra, our consulting firm for agencies, to help them scale, right? Now, the secret is called PSR messaging. And what is PSR messaging? It's a problem-oriented messaging sequence that builds curiosity and establishes how you can help. Now, if you know your prospects well, which if your agency is positioned correct. So how can you get all of this set up? Well, first things first, we're going to need a LinkedIn account, and number 2, Sales Navigator. And what we're going to do is sign in and navigate to the search bar at the top of the page. Now, what you're going to see here is this lead filters list. So we're going to want to go ahead and click that. Now, the first step in doing all of this is setting up our saved searches. And what we're going to do is essentially build a miniature CRM inside of LinkedIn Sales Navigator to track our prospects' progress through our pipeline up until the point where they book a call, and then they are going to go into whatever CRM that you actually use to manage your pipeline. If you're not using a CRM right now, you should. Love Go High Level for that. Step 2 here is, like I mentioned, setting up the saved searches. So the first saved search we want to set up is the send connection request. Now, there's going to be an easy way to save this search. It's a little bubble up in the top hand screen of LinkedIn where it's going to say get updates on new additions to those searches. So make sure you turn that bubble on. So we're going to click lead filters, and this is the list of prospects that we are going to be working from each day and sending our connection requests from. So we want to apply the filters to find our target prospects. My favorite filters are job titles, company headcount, years in the position, the geography, and the connections need to be second and third degree because I want people that I'm not yet connected with. Ensure that you are using the filter posted on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. Because this ensures we are targeting active profiles and our messages have a much higher chance of being opened. This means that people have posted in the last 30 days or the most active users. Now with this list and the other lists we're going to set up, we need to configure our exclusions. This makes sure that we actually build that pipeline within LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So for Save Search A, once you have your targeting criteria dialed in and you can see on the right-hand side that all of your prospects are there, you're going to want to exclude people you have messaged and exclude all of your saved leads. Now you're going to find this under the workflow section of the filters. And like I mentioned, you want to make sure you save that search to get notified of new results. So now that we have list A set up, we need to set up list B. Now, these are people who have accepted our connection request from list A and are automatically going to be filtered to send our outreach message to. So this list is going to have completely blank search criteria except for exclusions. So the exclusions for Save Search B is going to be people you have messaged. We are going to exclude them and include all of your saved leads. And I will get to that in a moment. Next, Save Search C, pass off to manager. Now, I use a VA to manage all of my LinkedIn outreach, and they do all of this manually. Now, for those of you who are using automation, I'm personally just not willing to put my account at risk. I have almost 30,000 followers. It's a great LinkedIn account that brings me a ton of business. So it's just not worth risking. I understand some people love automation and all the tools out there for it. I personally think a human touch is just better in terms of getting good results. So if they ever get a reply to a message, they go ahead and save this lead to list C. Now, this is a completely blank save search, so you're not going to have any of the targeting criteria that we've went into above. And what's going to happen is they're going to save it there, and then I know each day I need to take 5 minutes and go look at that list C, because those are the people I have a high likelihood of booking calls with. Save Search D, so send in-mails, okay? Now with Sales Navigator, we get around 60 in-mails a month. This does vary from account to account. And this targeting is going to be the same as list A, our exclusions list. Now this targeting criteria is going to be the exact same as list A. These are just people who are second and third degree connections that we are not sending a connection request to, but still want to message. And our last save search is list D, send in-mails. So in-mails are a way to actually get a message in front of someone, even if we're not connected with them. Okay, so lists 1 or A through C are all under the assumption that we are connected with that person. Sales Navigator allows us to send a fixed amount of messages per month to people we are not directly connected with and put our outreach in front of them. Okay, so for list D, it's going to be the exact same as list A, but we are going to be including exclusions like we did in list A. Now, these are all going to be second and third degree connections, so you're not actually going to connect, you're just going to send the message. So now all of our save searches are set up. Now, I know we just went through a lot, so feel free to click back and watch this section again if you need more help getting this set up. Now, step 3, set up lead lists. Lead lists are how we are actually going to progress people through the pipeline. Now, we will be manually adding people to these lists after taking a specific action, or your VA that you train on this process is going to be doing. So we're going to set up 5 saved lead lists: connection request sent, message sent, people who have responded, follow up, and in-mail sent. Okay, so you can set these up in any of the save searches by going to your save searches. So let's say we're in list A and we are going to click a lead. We're going to click save to list. Saving the leads allows the exclusions that we set up earlier to work properly. Next, our daily LinkedIn workflow. So now that we have all the infrastructure set up, what are we actually going to do? Well, we're going to go to our A list, our connection requests, and reminder, this is our list of ideal prospects. So for each search result, just do a quick scan of the headline and make sure that this person is actually a fit for your outreach. Assuming they are, go ahead, click the 3 dots here and click connect. All right. Now we want to make sure that these people actually fit our criteria because we are going to be sending them a message. So once we've connected with them, we are going to want to save them to our lead list, right? Now, the lead list that we're going to save them to is connection request sent. So what I'll typically do is check all of these on select all, connect with them, and then save them to my list, connection request sent. Now you're going to repeat this process until you've sent 25 messages per day. And we don't want to exceed this because we could have our account locked. Now, the reality is each week I typically run out of connection requests by Thursday or Friday because I am sending so many. So that's completely normal, and don't be nervous or worried if you get that same block request. This is a daily activity. Once you've done that, it is now complete. Now, a pro tip that increases your connection acceptance rate by 30% is send the connection request blank. Now, this might be contrary to a lot of popular belief, but you do not want to send a personalized connection request. You don't want to send, hey, so nice to connect with you. That just adds to the cringe factor of LinkedIn that people hate. So let your profile do the talking, because when you send a connection request, your profile is going to have in the headline exactly what it is you do. Step 2, responding to connections. So for this part of the process, we are going to go into our B list. So for this part of the process, we are going to be responding to, so for step 2, responding to the connections. For this part of the process, you're going to be going to your B send message list. And this is everyone who has accepted our connection request from the A list. Okay, but we haven't messaged them yet. They're automatically going to appear there because of our filters. Now, we want to take our pre-templated outreach message and copy and paste it into that message box. Now, you should send as many messages as there are people in this list, meaning there's no limit, right? Because everyone who's accepted the connection request is going to appear in list B. Now, this is a daily activity as well. Now your messaging is done for the day. Step 3, there's going to be people who respond and do not book a call, right? In this case, we want to add them to our follow-up list. So we're able to craft a message that makes sense to attempt to book the call. You'll click the profile, then click lists and add them to the C list, right? So if you get a positive reply and you need to reply to it later, or you just want to notate that, hey, I need to follow up with this person. For some reason you can't right now, go ahead, save them to the list. Step 4 is sending InMails, right? So with LinkedIn Sales Navigator, we also get InMail credits. Now these are credits that allow us to send requests to second and third degree connections, as I mentioned earlier. This is already going to be set up under our D send InMails list and is similar to the A list. So I recommend using 10 InMail credits per day until we run out each month to send this list. Now, InMails are very, very powerful because we can still get our messages seen without connection requests being accepted. Now, you're probably wondering at this point, the strategy looks great, but what does my script actually say? Well, I like to say that there are 2 different ways of getting a response using PSR messaging. Number 1 is direct outreach. We're going to go straight for the call booking. Don't waste time, right? Have an engaging hook and then go into, here's my credibility. Here's what we offer. Would it make sense to grab 15 minutes with you and just share how we've been able to do this for XYZ avatar? Very simple script that gets results. The second way is more of an indirect script. And this I use as a research piece to open up the conversations. And that's how you saw me getting those long paragraph responses of people giving me their pain points. So I say, hey, I'm conducting a research piece on XYZ industry. I'll be sending the report to anyone who's kind enough to take a few minutes to reply. And I'll say, what is your primary issue or what is your primary focus with XYZ topic? And then I've heard XYZ from other people, right? Thanks so much. Sign off. Then they're going to give you your problem that they want you to solve or they are struggling with and you can position to solve, and go ahead and book a call. So those are the 2 ways that I recommend sending PSR messages that actually get results. Now, I can assure you, if you do this consistently, you are going to get more clients for your agency. In fact, I was on a consulting call with one of my clients the other day. They booked 11 discovery calls using this strategy in the last 4 days. So it works if you do. Now, like everything else you're going to learn in this video, consistency matters. If you are not consistent with your outreach, if you are not consistent with your content, it's all going to fall flat and you're going to be left thinking that nothing works. It's not that your strategy is bad. It's probably that you're not doing enough of it. So keep that in mind and let's get to the next method. Now, the third method to get clients that I absolutely love and we use very heavily in our own business and across our clients' businesses is lead magnets. And I will come out and say that they are the 80-20 of generating leads on social. They're one of the best ways to either grow your list, nurture prospects, or ultimately get clients. And they're responsible for generating thousands of sales calls for us over the last few years. So a few examples. I posted one here on LinkedIn talking about your client onboarding process is going to make or break your churn rate. And the truth is you can't onboard clients quickly and efficiently without a proper process. I've used ClickUp for years to seamlessly and effortlessly onboard new clients, and now I'm giving away our entire client onboarding system for free. comment onboard, and I will send it over to you. As you can see, this does a few things. It speaks to my ICP's pain point, right? Churn rate. A lot of agencies struggle with this. Also, a lot of agencies' onboarding process isn't very good. So I'm giving away how I've been able to do this for hundreds and hundreds of clients. And as you can see, it has over 1,000 opt-ins in the comments. Now, what I'm doing is DMing them after they opt in. Another one here, LinkedIn is officially the best place to get new leads as an agency owner. In the last 30 days, I've had 5+ agencies add 3 to 5 new clients per month using LinkedIn. Little case study. And once again, speaking to a pain point, I need new leads as an agency owner. Like and comment LinkedIn on this post, and I will send you our LinkedIn client acquisition system. Once again, almost 1,100 opt-ins. The thing about lead magnets, and what's so beautiful about them, is that everyone opting in for this is actively looking for a solution around this problem. Otherwise, they wouldn't have opted in for the resource in the first place. Now, this is extremely valuable information for us to have and to follow up on, right? Because of intent. So with that intent, I know I can open a conversation and I'm going to be on point in asking them what their strategy is for XYZ thing in 2025. So for example, with any of these lead magnets, if I said, hey, did you still want this resource? They say, yeah, I still want the resource. Then I'm DMing them and saying, hey, what are your current client acquisition strategies for Q1 right now? Once again, they're going to tell me what they're focused on, and then I can position a call to share value and go into my discovery framework. So what's the secret to building good lead magnets that actually get read? Well, for starters, it actually has to be good, like really good. For example, find someone in your market who charges for information and make your lead magnet better than theirs, and then give it away for free. Give away the information, sell the implementation. Now, there's plenty of people out there who would charge thousands of dollars for this information, right? I spent a lot of time putting this video together, and you have many competitors in your space that would charge for the same information as well that you have around how you achieve the dream outcome for your clients. So what kind of lead magnets do I actually like? I like white papers, I like webinars, I like reports, I like case studies, right? I like trainings. Just like this one here, I also like documents, right? Some of my favorites, though, specifics are plug and play templates because, once again, speed to implementation is key. This solves that pain point immediately for them. Next, guides, calculators, and audits, right? These are all very high leverage lead magnets as well because, once again, they can customize to your client's business and give them a solution or a breakthrough that they're looking for, right? And it also creates follow-up questions, which all the more reason for them to engage with you and get on a call with you, because if the lead magnet solves their problem, but it creates 3 other problems, well then, hey, they obviously are going to have to pay to get that problem solved. So if you're wondering if you have a good lead magnet, right, make one and then go through this checklist. Does the lead magnet give you an opportunity to ask further probing questions around the core pain point? Does it actually fix the client's issue or pain point in less than 24 hours, ideally much faster? Is it simple to use and implement immediately? And is it unique and non-commoditized? And this, a lot of it comes down to the packaging that you actually are wrapping the lead magnet in, right? So there's probably 1,000,001 ROAS calculators out there, but maybe yours correlates ROAS to contribution margin if you're a D2C e-com agency, and that's going to allow you to make it unique and non-commoditized. Or maybe it's for a specific market within D2C e-com, and once again brings you out of commodity land and into well-positioned land. So what should the lead magnet post structure look like no matter where you launch this, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on LinkedIn or Twitter? You need an engaging hook, right? A hook that talks to the pain point or the dream outcome of your prospects. Next, you need the transition or the justifier. Why am I giving this away, or why is it important to you? The body or the explanation. What are they going to get in that lead magnet? And is there some social proof I can include in there and explain why this thing works so well? And lastly, a CTA. If you want this, comment this. If you want this, click the link below. So what do you do after you actually post the lead magnet though? Well, you're going to wait for people to comment the CTA of the word that you gave in your post. You're going to DM them asking if they still want the resource that they opted in for. you're going to send them the resource, and then you're going to ask them a follow-up question. So for example, if I gave away a CRO checklist to improve website conversion rates, I might ask, what are you working on right now to improve your CRO this quarter? This is going to get them to explain their pain point, what they're working on, and give you an opportunity to position for a discovery call. So what's the lesson here? Ship more lead magnets, right? I recommend at least one lead magnet per week, and then just recycle those every 8 weeks. That way you constantly have a revolving door of valuable resources that are going out, and we're just changing the hooks on them to be able to get that reach consistently and have it look fresh and new to our market. So for our clients' businesses and our own, they are the number one method of getting opt-ins, growing our list, growing social following, and booking discovery calls. The fourth method of getting more clients is paid ads, right? Now, why paid ads work so well in 2025 is because it allows you to put your winning offer on steroids. If you have a proven funnel, ads can unlock some real volume in your business and make that deal flow more consistent, a lot more consistent than organic social or outreach. But running paid ads and getting wild results isn't easy anymore. You're not booking calls for $25 and $50 like you could 5 years ago, right? So the business economics also have to be on point, but I will save that for another video. Now, if you haven't nailed your messaging, your targeting, and your offer, you're just going to be burning money. So here's what to make sure that you actually get right in your ads. Understand every variable that you add to running your paid ads is going to dilute budget and focus. So what I mean by this is if you're going to run ads, I recommend picking one funnel type and one entry point that you are going to optimize the absolute living crap out of to convert more deals and squeeze it for everything that you can to generate book calls. So a common mistake that I see is I'm going to test a webinar, a VSL, a lead magnet, a challenge, my newsletter funnel, or a low ticket product all at the same time. Even testing 3 of those is a catastrophic mistake. Even 2 of those in the beginning is a catastrophic mistake. I want you to launch one funnel with one set of ads that's going to allow you to optimize this like clockwork and limit the amount of variables. So for example, each of these funnel types have copy and videos and slides that you need to make and follow-up sequences and ad creatives and landing pages, meaning just with these variables, we're looking at optimizing 46,656 possible variables or combinations of these different assets here. Far too many variables to optimize, right? That's why I like to keep things extremely simple and just pick one funnel to ruthlessly test. So if you take anything from this part of the video, make sure that you are focusing. For example, a lead magnet funnel, taking what we just learned for the third method and bringing that over to paid ads is going to work extremely well, right? If you got strong opt-ins on organic, you probably can turn that into a landing page, drive paid traffic to it. Other people are going to find that valuable as well. So for example, super simple opt-in page here, squeeze page, going to have a headline, going to have 3 bullets on why it works, a button, and some sort of an engaging visual that actually shows a sneak peek of the asset. Now, this is great because, hey, it generates opt-ins. Our appointment setters can call those opt-ins immediately, and we get them on our email newsletter so we can nurture them later on down the line with case studies and information and all the content pillars that I shared in the first method. Now you can start to see how these systems stack together and work together into a complete lead generation ecosystem. Now, you're going to notice how simple the page is, right? We're not talking about rocket science here. It's an opt-in page. So it's abundantly clear what the outcome for the prospect is in the first 3 to 5 seconds of them landing on it. We've communicated why it's important to them, and we've removed anything that would make what we're offering unclear. Now that we have this established, we can split test this until we are getting our prospects' email addresses, phone numbers within target KPI, right? I'm looking for this between $2 to $5 an opt-in. Now, if I had to do this for 6 funnels or 4 or even 2, you can see how much more difficult this is going to get, especially if you're not a media buyer or you haven't ran ads before for your agency or for your clients. So simplicity wins here. Now, what about your ad creatives, right? Creative is the X factor with your ads, right? It's no longer about account structure or CBO or ABO or exclusions or lookalikes or all that stuff. right? It's not about that anymore. It's about creative. And you need to ship a lot of creative to make them be successful. In fact, Facebook says their top 1% of advertisers ship 11 times more creative than the rest of their advertising pool. Now, you can see all of the ads that you and your competitors are running using Meta Ad Library. So if you've never written a script for an ad before, or you're not sure where to start, I recommend going to Facebook Ad Library and checking out a few of your competitors and just see what they are running. Now, this isn't for you to copy, but this is for you to give or get a little bit of inspiration up front. So some of our favorite creative formats include interview testimonials. So I'm a big fan of fly out to your clients, or if you host an event, have them fly to you and go ahead and interview them. Hey, what was your experience before you started working with us? What was the breakthrough and transformation that happened? And what was the result that you got? And then what would you say to people that are on the fence about working with us? Interview testimonials work fantastically well. Next, UGC testimonials, okay? Same thing, but selfie style of your clients actually recording that for your agency. Next, scripted storylines. So think about your ideal client. What issues are they facing? What keeps them up at night? And once again, what's causing them pain, right? People avoid pain more than they want pleasure. So think about that psychological trigger as you're creating these ads. So how can you communicate the problem or the pain in a creative and interesting way that they haven't seen a million times before, and introduce yourself as the solution to the problem? So in this video, we had a persona that we called Ryan, who is an agency owner, and he is struggling to scale his lead generation efforts. And we obviously position ourselves as that solution to our prospects. So what's the takeaway for all of this? Offer and funnel first. Dial in a killer offer and landing page before you scale with ads. You already should have things that are working for your agency through outreach or through content, and then go into ads. The reality is ads are not going to fix a broken message. Now, ads can be used as a tool to increase the speed at which you understand what message is working, but do understand you're going to pay for it. Platform alignment. So choose the ad platform where your ideal client usually hangs out. So love LinkedIn for B2B, love Meta for that as well. YouTube for high-level content, long-form content, more conducive to a B2B audience as well. Next, test creative like your success depends on it, because it does, right? Creative is the X factor. If your ads aren't converting, it's likely because the creative sucks. Now, there's obviously metrics we can look at to make sure that it's not our landing page or our offer, but goes beyond the scope of this video a little bit. Data and optimization. So set up robust tracking and measure your cost per lead and your customer acquisition cost, right? How much does it cost us to get an opt-in? How much does it cost us to get a qualified book call? If your CPL is too high, optimize your ad creative or your targeting immediately. Look at your landing page, make sure that your ad is consistent with what's actually going on the landing page, and also make sure that your customer acquisition cost is in line with your lifetime value. So what are the action steps? Validate your offer organically or via low budget tests first. Then I recommend scaling pretty aggressively. Then I recommend scaling it aggressively when you find something that works, once you're seeing consistent returns, consistent cost per book calls, and customer acquisition costs as a whole. Continuously tweak your ad creative, your audience targeting, landing page copy. Remember, we are going to relentlessly split test this funnel from the ad to the lander to the call booking to the thank you page, all of it, right? That's how you actually see outsized returns with paid ads, is dialing in one funnel. So those are your action steps on paid ads, and let's close it out with the final method. So method 5, thought leadership email newsletters. This allows us to stay top of mind and build trust at scale. So why does it work in 2025? Well, people buy from people that they remember. And even if your client isn't ready for a new agency right now, a regular newsletter keeps you in their inbox and in their thoughts until they're ready. And when they're ready, they are going to know that they should talk to you, right? Now, all of the lead gen methods that we've went through so far are going to contribute to your email newsletters growth, right? So what's the trick to making a newsletter successful? Make it so valuable that they'd pay for it if they had to. Now, this is the part that most people get wrong. And once again, I want you to give away your expertise and charge for the implementation of that expertise. So these emails should be focused and actionable. So what's the checklist to make sure that you're sending something actionable? Does it provide tangible takeaways like a quick tip, a case study snippet, or a mini framework that solves a problem, right? Does it give links to downloadable tools, calculators, case studies, like the lead magnets we went through earlier? Do you deliver it every week, right? Train your prospects to expect and look forward to your thoughts and insights in your content, right? Once a week is the absolute minimum that I would recommend sending a newsletter. Once a week is the absolute minimum that I would recommend sending your newsletter. A little underrated hack: use the PS section for your CTAs in your email. So check out this stat on PS sections, right? Some say 79% of people read the PS section first. Others say 90%. Either way, that's an insane percentage of people that jump down to the PS section. So this is the top place for you to position your CTA or the link that you want people to actually visit, whether it's a call booking or whether it's a lead magnet or whether it's a link to another piece of your social content. Keep that in mind and put it in the PS section. Now, I recommend sending 3 value emails for every 1 offer or CTA focused email. So this keeps things proper in terms of value delivery to the rate at which you're asking them to take action. After all, Gary Vee did popularize jab, 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 right hook for a reason. So what's an actual example of a newsletter that I like that you could send for your agency? Now, this is Ben from an agency called Biddyco. I have 0 affiliation with this agency. I don't know Ben, but they've been sending this type of newsletter for years, and I've been on the list, and it's really, really impressive. So each week they break down some of the top ads they're seeing and break down why they work while strategically using the PS section to book discovery calls, right? So each and every week, multiple times a week, I get an email with a top ad that they're seeing. They offer ad creative, right? So they break down why it works. And then in the PS section, what's Biddyco again? And they go into what they actually offer. Now, my favorite tools for sending emails are Beehive, Go High Level, and Active Campaign. So you can use any one of these to set up a high converting newsletter. Now, another pro tip for what to include in your newsletter is talk about your long form social content, i.e. YouTube, LinkedIn, and use that as starter content for your weekly newsletter. So if I have a shorter piece, I'm going to expand on it. If I have a longer piece, I'm going to chunk it down and send that in the newsletter. Now, I like to have AI help me repurpose things for speed and efficiency, but just be sure to edit. Now, I have a custom GPT. Some people prefer Claude. So basically what this GPT does is I tell it to train on my past content that I've written. And then I will upload information in the knowledge base that I want to talk about or I want it to reference. And it's going to write me an actual tactical email that gives value. What are your next steps as far as building an email newsletter? Well, step 1, I want you to define your hook. So what is that email piece that you're going to be delivering each and every week that maybe your competitors are lacking or reinforces your positioning or you're already talking about on social? Second, plan your cadence. Now, you can do weekly or bi-weekly. Like I mentioned earlier, though, I really would prefer that you send weekly because I do believe that more volume is better here. But whatever you can consistently maintain with high quality, I want you to do that. And if it's only bi-weekly, then at a very, very minimum, go ahead and do that. Number 3, create a content calendar or an editorial calendar where we're mapping out our topics that align with our prospects' biggest pain points. And number 4, promote aggressively. So mention your newsletter on your socials. Get the traffic to your newsletter. Do it in your email signature that you are just sending typical emails with and on the back of your lead magnets, right? For example, someone opts in through paid ads, okay, they're already on the newsletter, or someone opts in through LinkedIn for a lead magnet or on Twitter for a lead magnet. Hey, do you want insights like this each and every week? Join the XYZ newsletter where I deliver these insights weekly to your inbox, okay? So what's the plan? Send a minimum of 1 email per week to your list, bi-weekly if you absolutely have to. And that's it. That is all 5 of the top lead generation methods that we have used personally to close over 400 deals in the last 12 months across our portfolio of consulting clients. And I want you to be able to take this and actually implement something that you learned here and go ahead and get more clients for yourself. Now, watching this video is not going to allow you to do that. You actually have to go do the work. But after this step-by-step guide, I hope that you fully understand what it is that you need to do for your agency. Now, the reality is I don't recommend running all of these at the same time because there are channels that are going to work better for you depending on the type of agency that you have. So make sure that you are aligning where your avatar hangs out with the actual lead generation method that you are going to be using, along with what you are actually skilled in, right? If you're not a video person, then you're probably not going to do well on YouTube or on Instagram. And maybe you're more of a written person. Maybe you want to lean into LinkedIn and newsletter more. But if you like this video, a like and a sub would mean the world to me. So if that sounds interesting to you, I will see you in the next video.